What's up, guys? Welcome back to another class preview. This time we're going to go over the Restoration Shaman and kind of see all the changes that has happened since Warlords of Draenor, and kind of go over the artifact weapon and kind of explore the new Restoration Shaman. Now this is my first time doing the healing thing, so if I leave something out, please just let me know. Alright, first of all we're going to go through the spell book, then we're going to go over the talents, then go over the artifact weapon. But first of all, the spell book. Starting off with Ancestral Spirit is our basic res. It is does revive you with 35% health and mana, and cannot be cast while in combat. Nothing new there. Ancestral Vision. Now this is a new thing all healers have. Not the same spell name, but still to the same effect. It is on an 8.73 second cast, same as our res, but it returns all dead party members to life with 35% health and mana. This is a excellent tool that I think should have been added quite a while ago. It is just healers who have this, so it is quite useful, and also kind of fits into your aspect of being a healer. I'm very glad that they add this, so you don't have to have that stupid mass res debuff. So it's very useful. We do have Astral Recall, 8.73 second cast with a 10-minute cooldown. Basically another Hearthstone, same as it's always been. We do have Astral Shift, which is our primary defensive cooldown. It is a 1.5 minute cooldown. Shifts partially into the elemental planes, taking 40% less damage for 6 seconds. Very nice for high burst fight or high burst damage coming in, and overall a good talent. Some other specs do have some higher damage reduction and more charges of similar stuff, but I guess we'll take this. We're shamans, we can live forever, so works out for us. Now we do have Chain Heal. It does cost 21,000 mana with a 2.1 second cast. Heals a friendly target for 38,000, then jumps to heal the most injured nearby party or raid member. Healing is reduced by 30% each jump, and it does heal 4 targets total. Now this is very similar, and if we remember right, we do have the talent Healing Tide, or High Tide in Warlords. We do have something similar to reduce the percentage that jumps. So don't worry about that. It is still a very powerful heal. Actually, it's very powerful. It is almost the same as your healing wave, so, but does use quite a bit more mana. Now we do have Chain Heal, as same as it always is a 1.7 second cast. Very low on the mana cost. Something to note that some of the healers do have mana cost on their damaging spells, like Restoration Druids do not, which they kind of are lucky. I do see them kind of balancing that out so that all healers can DPS a little bit without wasting mana. It does hurl Lightning Bolt at the target enemy, dealing 14,000 nature damage and jumping to additional nearby enemies, affecting 3 total targets. Next we have Earth and Shield Totem, which is a talent we'll go over later. Same with Earth Grab Totem. Farsight, kind of seeing off into the distance. We do have Flame Shock as instant cast like always, 6 second cooldown. Sears the target for 17,000 fire damage, and then causing 70,000 fire damage over 20 seconds. So, very high mana cost. It does have 13,000. Hopefully they do fix this, because that would suck if that transfers over. We do have Ghost Wolf. Turn into Ghost Wolf and increase movement speed by 30%, and preventing movement speed being reduced below 100% movement. It's very nice, especially high movement fights. And I do like the fact that if you're already slowed, you can no longer go below 100% speed. Gust of Wind is a talent, we'll go over later. Healing Rain. Now this is a 1.75 second cast. Does cost 18,000 mana with a 10-second cooldown. Blanket the target area and healing rains, restoring 32,000 health up to 6 allies over 10 seconds. Now this will primarily heal the lowest allies, and then just kind of going up from there. So same as it kind of always was. Now we do have Healing Stream Totem. It does cost 9,000 mana, instant cast with a 30-second recharge. Summons a totem at your feet with 15 seconds that heals 2 injured party or raid members within 40 yards for 6,000 health every 1.7 seconds. Now I know that it does say a recharge. We do have a talent that gives us one additional charge, so normally it would be on a 30-second just cooldown with one charge, obviously, but relatively similar to what it used to be. We do have Healing Surge, costs 15,000 mana with a 1.3 second cast, a quick but expensive surge of healing energy that restores 42,000 of a friendly target's life. They did kind of switch around. Most healers main heal and their quick heal, so they both heal for the same amount. One is a lot faster and costs more mana. The other one is a lot slower cast time and does cost a lot less mana. I do like the fact that they kind of reverted to this. It does make a lot more balance, and kind of test the healer's ability to make predictions of lasting through the entire fight with having enough mana. So this does emphasis on your mana usage and how good of a healer you are. Basically weeds out the weak, and I do really like this change. Next we do have Healing Tide Totem. It does cost about 5,000 mana, instant cast with a 3-minute cooldown. Summons a totem at your feet for 10 seconds, which pulses every 1.7 seconds, healing all party and raid members within 40 yards for 7,000. Now this is your whole healing cooldown ability. This is a very nice addition to healing cooldowns, and a very strong one at that. Since it does heal every party member or raid member within 40 yards, it can be a very strong cooldown. Next we do have Healing Wave. It does cost 7,000 mana with a 2.1 second cast. A slow but efficient wave of healing energy restores 42,000 health of a friendly target's life. Now if we look at Healing Surge, it is Healing Surge is about double, but it does have almost half the cast time. So Healing Wave is basically what you want to be spamming unless you need to put out a lot of heals, just to keep your mana low, or mana cost low. Next we do have Heroism. It is does cost 18,000 mana, instant cast with a 5-minute cooldown. increases haste by 30% for all party and raid members within 100 yards. Lasts 40 seconds. Allies receiving this effect will become exhausted, unable to benefit from heroism or time warp, again for 10 minutes. Same as it always is. We do have Hex. Transforms the enemy into a frog for 1 minute. While hexed, the victim is incapacitated and cannot attack or cast spells. Damage will cancel the effect. Limit 1 only works on humanoids and beasts. Now this is the same as it always is. Does have a 1.5 second cast time with a 30-second cooldown. A very nice CC addition with a limit of being only able to cast on humanoids and beasts. Next we do have Lava Burst. It does cost 5,000 mana with a 1.75 second cast and an 8-second recharge. Now this would normally be a 8-second cooldown, but since the fact that we do have Echo of Elements, which is a talent we'll go over later, we do get an extra charge. Lightning Bolt hurls a bolt of lightning at the target, dealing 27,000 nature damage with a 1.75 second cast. Now this is a nice little filler. It does have no mana cost, so hopefully the rest of the spells kind of catch up and don't have mana cost as well, because that's kind of unfortunate that they do, because a lot of healers are benefiting off of not being able to being able to cast damaging spells, and I would like to do in my spare time when I'm not healing or no one needs heals. It would be nice to do a little extra damage. We do have Purge. Does cost 17,000 mana. Instant cast with 30-yard range. Purges the enemy target, removing 1 beneficial magic effect. Same as it always is. We do have Purify Spirit. 11,000 mana cost. Instant cast, 8-second cooldown. Removes all curse and magic effects from a friendly target. Now this works relatively similar to what it used to, but it does remove all curse and magic effects. Not what it used to was 1. We do have Riptide. Does cost 6,000 mana. Instant cast with a 6-second recharge. Now normally this would be a 6-second cooldown, but since we have talents, we do get 1 additional charge. Restorative Waters wash over a friendly target, healing them for 23,000 and an additional 33,000 over 18 seconds. Now this is going to be your primary ability that you'd like to keep up on your tanks and also players who desperately needs fast heals and that are taking damage quite often, so that heal over time will help them quite a bit. Next we do have Spirit Link Totem. Does cost 9,000 mana, instant cast with a 3-minute cooldown. Now this is your secondary kind of a healing cooldown. It summons a totem at the target location for 6 seconds, which reduces all damage taken by all party and raid members by 10%. Every 1 second, the health of all players is redistributed such that all players are remaining at the same percentage of max life. Now this is very good if, say, someone is being damaged more than others, say they do have a dot that cannot be dispelled or something like that, and you are all taking raid damage, you kind of make sure that he lives along with you guys. So it is a very useful tool. It kind of is unfortunate that you cannot get 2 charges of this from Echo of Elements, but it is just kind of makes you think about when you would like to use this in a raid fight or in PvP. Next we do have Spirit Walker's Grace. Does cost 12,000 mana, instant cast with a 2-minute cooldown. Calls upon the guidance of spirits for 15 seconds, permanently permitting movement while casting Shaman spells. This is also castable while casting. So if I'm starting a healing rain, I can cast this, then keep moving while casting the same spell. A very useful talent, and especially in high movement fights, so that you're not standing in bad. Next we do have water walking, and this is weird enough, it does give you the ability to walk on water. Next we do have Wellspring, which is a talent we'll go over later. We also still have Wind Shear, our basic interrupt with a 12-second cooldown. Disrupts the target's concentration with a burst of wind interrupting spellcasting, preventing any spell to be cast from that school for 3 seconds. Now this is something new that we did get, that Resto Shamans did get. We do now have Lava Surge. Now this is a primarily elemental passive talent. Your Flame Shock damage over time has a 15% to reset the remaining cooldown of Lava Burst and cause your next Lava Burst to be instant. I do like the fact that we kind of share this with Elemental now. It does make DPSing as a healer a little bit useful and a little bit more interesting than just spamming whatever button looks shiny. Now this is also affected by haste, which the more the damage over time you get, the more chance of procs, obviously. So other than that, nothing really new, is same as it was for Elemental. Now our Mastery, Deep Healing, increases healing of your spells by 57% based on the current life of your target. Lower health targets are healed for more. Now this is our same passive as we had in Warlords. It does very much, it is a very useful mastery, especially in high damage fights, especially when a lot of people are dropping low. This procs it procs off of every spell and makes your healing per second quite high. We do have Reincarnation. Passive allows you to resurrect yourself upon death with 20% health and mana. This effect can only occur every 30 minutes. Now we do have Resurgence. As a passive, your direct heals heal criticals refund a percentage of your maximum mana. Now each heal is different. You do get 1% max mana back from Healing Wave, 0.6% back from Healing Surge or Riptide, and 0.25% max mana from Chain Heal. Now this is a very nice passive just to give you extra mana back and have a constant flow of mana. No pun intended. Since we no longer have Water Shield, we do not have a very good mana regen, and this kind of helps out quite a bit. It was in Warlords, but not to the same extent. Now we do have Tidal Waves. Passive, casting Chain Heal or Riptide reduces the cast time of your Healing Wave by 20%, or increase the critical effect chance of your Healing Surge by 30%. Now this does stack up to 2 times. Now in Warlords, we did have this, so it gave you 2 stacks. This only gives you 1 stack now, but we can still stack it up to 2 times. With Echo of the Elements, which is a talent, you can have 2 Riptides, so obviously getting off 2 stacks of Tidal Waves pretty quick, and does not affect or duplicate the reduced cast time or critical strike effect, but just gives you an extra charge to reduce cast time. Now moving on to the talents. Starting on the level 15 talents. Um, I would like to say I really do like this row. They do feel very in place as where they should belong. And most of the restoration shamans, they do fit in pretty well. Indolination is a passive every third healing wave or healing surge you cast, and heals for additional 50%. It's a very nice passive, and it gives you some extra healing. I mean, it is very, you can play this very to the T and make sure you do 2 healing waves, then a healing surge. So get that extra benefit from it, and get that extra critical strike chance off of your theta waves. So very nice. We do have rushing streams back. It is a passive that makes healing streams now heal 2 targets at once. Now since healing stream totem has smart healing, it does heal the lowest target, and also heals any target that has damage taken instead of players that are 100%. So this is very useful, especially in just AoE fights or a lot of high damage fights. We do have Torrent. It's another passive, and increases the initial heal from Riptide by 50%. Nice little passive. Does give you a little bit extra healing. Does not make this initial heal crazy. It does make it about the same as a healing wave, but still it is a very nice talent. Next we have basically our mobility. We do have Gust of Wind, hurls a gust of wind that hurls you forward, basically like so. Nice little, almost blink, a little bit slower. We do have Graceful Spirit. It's a passive that reduces the cooldown of Spirit Walker's Grace by 60 seconds, and increase your movement speed by 20% while it's active, and increases your movement speed of Ghost Wolf by additional 10. Now this is a very nice passive as well, since your Ghost Wolf will now be at 40% instead of the regular 30. Plus, when you need to move around, it is on a lower cooldown, so I would highly suggest this one for healers. Wind Rush Totem. Now this has changed quite a bit actually. It is a 2. Next we do have Lightning Surge Totem. It's a 45-second cooldown. Summons a totem that gathers electrical energy from surrounding air, then explodes after 3 seconds to stun enemies within 8 yards for 5 seconds. Now this is a very nice totem. And if we're familiar with capacitor totem, this is the same thing. It does have a reduced activation from 5 seconds to 3 seconds, but something to note, we can activate this at a target location after 3 seconds to stun enemies within 8 yards for 5 seconds. Now this is a very nice totem, and if we're familiar with capacitor totem, this is the same thing. It does have a reduced activation from 5 seconds to 3 seconds, but something to note, we can activate this at a target location. So we can just summon it over there and stun people over there, which is very nice. We also do have Earth Grab totem. It works similar as it used to, but you can move it anywhere you'd like as well. It does root all enemies within 10 yards of the totem for 5 seconds. Enemies previously rooted from totem suffer 50% movement speed reduction Very nice. We do have Voodoo Totem as well. It does replace Hex. Summons a totem at the target destination for 10 seconds, hexing all enemies within 8 yards into frogs, incapacitated, and unable to attack or cast spells. Damage may interrupt or leaving the area will interrupt this effect as well with a 30-second cooldown. It's a very nice totem, especially if we need to CC a lot of mobs. We do have Crashing Waves as a new passive. Basically, tidal waves generate 1 additional charge when triggered. So instead of getting one stack, you do get 2. And increases the critical strike effect chance from Healing Surge by additional 10, which makes that up to 40%. And also reduces the cast time of Healing Wave, which makes that 30%. We do have Ancestral Guidance. For the next 10 seconds, 20% of your damage and healing is converted into healing up upon 3 injured party members or raid members. Nice little change. It is still gives you extra healing, just basically to injured members. This is a nice little cooldown that they added. It was in there before, but it used to convert to damage from healing, so I do like this addition. We have Deluge, another passive, Chain Heal, heals for additional 20% on targets within your healing range or affected by Riptide. This is a very nice, especially for close group fights, get some extra healing out. Now we do have Ancestral Protection Totem. This is a very nice totem. It is a 5-minute cooldown, summons a totem at the target location for 30 seconds. All allies within 20 yards of the totem gain 10% increased life. If an ally dies, the totem will be consumed, allowing them to reincarnate with 20% health and mana. It cannot reincarnate an ally who dies from massive damage, but low damage we can kind of res people. My question is if it's going to share a cooldown with battle reses. If it does, this makes it less valuable. If it doesn't, it makes it super valuable. Now with Earthen Shield Totem, it does cost 9,000 mana, have a 1-minute cooldown, summons a totem with 475,000 health at your feet for 15 seconds, 9,000 damage from each target, each attack against allies within 10 yards of the totem is redirected to the totem. Now this is a very nice cooldown, give you some extra damage reduction. Overall, very nice, especially for your tanks. We do have another passive, Ancestral Vigor, a passive that targets you heal with Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Chain Heal, and Riptide. Riptide's initial heal gained 10% increased life for 10 seconds. So kind of brought that back, which is kind of nice. Give you some extra health on those fights that you do have a lot of raid damage. Now we do have Bottomless Depths as another passive. Reinsurgence always triggers when you heal a target below 60% health. Very nice on getting mana back, especially on high damage fights. Since it always has always triggers, it can give you a lot of your mana back. We did bring back Cloudburst Totem. It is a 30-second cooldown. Summons a totem at your feet for 15 seconds that collects power from all your healing spells. When the totem expires or dies, the stored power is released, healing all injured allies within 40 yards for 30% of all healing done while it was active, divided evenly among targets. Very nice little cooldown if you can time it right. Also, casting the spell a second time recalls the totem, and instantly heals the remaining amount. We do have Echo of Elements. Now this has changed a little bit. It is passive still, but Riptide, Healing Stream Totem, and Lava Burst now have 2 charges. Other effects that reset the remaining cooldown will instead grant 1 charge. In addition, when you cast Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Riptide, or Chain Heal, you have a 15% chance to gain a charge of Riptide, therefore spreading more healing to everyone else in the raid. So very nice because you can get 2 Healing Stream Totems. And right now, they do stack. You can have 2 totems out at once. I'm not sure if this is going to fit in, but hopefully it does, because you get a bunch of healing out, especially if you have rushing streams. Next but not least, we do have Ascendant. It is an instant cast with a 3-minute cooldown. Transform into a Water Ascendant for 15 seconds, causing all healing you do to be duplicated and distributed evenly among allies. Very nice raid cooldown, especially for a lot of raid damage. Now we do have a new spell added, Wellspring. It does cost 30,000 mana with a 1.3 second cast with a 20-second cooldown. Creates a surge of water that flows forward and healing all friendly targets within a wide arc in front of you for 28,000. This is a very cool effect. Pushes out waves and kind of heals at a target location. Now we did bring back High Tide. It's a passive. Chain Heal also bounces to 1 additional target, and its fall off with each bounce is reduced by half, therefore only reducing it by 15% instead of the normal 30%. Now moving on to Artifact Weapon, we do have the Scepter of Tides. Your main ability is going to be Gift of the Queen. It is on 1.75 second cast with a 45 second cooldown. Heals up to 6 injured allies within 12 yards for 47,000. A very cool spell effect. Basically, huge waves come down and heals an area. It is a very nice kind of addition, and also since it is a targeted location, you can cast it on melee. Now most of these others, healing, are passives. They are really interesting. Some of the ones such as Tidal Pools, Riptide has a chance to summon a Tidal Totem at the target location, which heals allies for an additional 13,000 over 6 seconds. Then we also have stuff like Culmination Upkeep. Every time Healing Tide heals, it increases the healing done by 10%, stacking up to 10 times, therefore making your Healing Tide even better. Then we also have Decree of the Queen. Healing Stream Totem heals additional each affected ally for additional 7,000 over 6 seconds. I do like this new Restoration Shaman, and it does feel quite fun since I do main this on live servers. I do like the balance of healing and just kind of all that stuff. But hopefully we did like this class preview. If we did like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. If we have any questions, please put them in the comment box below. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.